So America's Field Day was this week, and we all didn't get those popsicles and those little plastic things that cut your mouth. But the group photos from Donald Trump's Patriot Games are something. And these photos show 120 of the best teen athletes in America, one boy and one girl from every state and the territories and tribal nations. And the first people who looked around the room and went, wait a minute, something's a little off here. The first people to do that were the kids. And yes, some of these athletes told the Washington Post they were unnerved that the field they were competing in was almost entirely white. One competitor's actual quote, "It's a little startling. This is supposed to be the best high school athletes. It just feels a little concerning not to see very many different types of people." The teenagers, they noticed, like right away. But the adults who put this thing together, they're either colorblind or they intentionally turned a blind eye. And I want to start with how these kids were picked. It wasn't qualifying times or tournaments, no stats. They were judged on patriotic video submissions, judged by a selection committee that no one has any transparency into. I mean, frankly, Willy Wonka ran a more transparent selection process, and that guy had children falling into a chocolate river, and he put dozens or more of foreign-born height-challenged workers into indentured servitude in a dangerous industrial environment. And look, what did this selection committee actually come up with? What's the field here? Well, CNN analyzed the athletes that Freedom 250 itself has been showcasing and essentially found them to be everything that Stephen Miller dreams of. They're overwhelmingly white, most from private Christian schools or homeschooled. The Boston Globe, they found a field disproportionately white and Christian. Bible verses written on wrist tape, optional worship service on day one, and multiple states, this is the craziest part, represented by kids who don't even live there. Yes, in at least one case, probably more, this organization flew stand-in kids from other states to rep your state in the National Unity Games.
These are supposedly the best athletes from every state in the country, and they all happen to be white? I don't know about that.
They're going on right now, the dystopian Hunger Games, Katniss Everdeen type events in the Hunger Games for our high school athletes to go and compete to do what?
They get backpacks and like red and blue outfits, and then they're jumping around, hopping around, and doing sports.
They're playing dodgeball. They're playing tug of war. How does one person win those games?
So, chat, I got to ask you, if you were building a real nationwide tournament of games, first of all, which competitions would you use? What would you do, though, to make the competition actually look like this country? How would you pick the kids? Would it be qualifying meets, state champs? Tell me in the comments, because send us a video about how much you love the president apparently skews to a certain demographic. And I shouldn't have to say this, but I have seen the comments all over the internet. The problem isn't the kids. It is not the kids. Every single one of those teenagers in some way earned their moment. Whether it was by putting forth their best effort or really genuinely trying to express their patriotism. They did it all within the confines of whatever the hell these alleged adults in the room put together. And yet some of these kids have been harassed online for being part of a roster that they didn't put together. And what's being pointed out all came from their competitors and the parents, not the organization that put it together. And the parents and the competitors they're saying comments like, yes, it could have been more diverse. And some state picks were a stretch. These kids that are trying their hearts out and their parents, they see it. They're speaking out. But of course, it's not hard to see it. Though the grown-ups in charge here, they just don't care. Because this event, it was never supposed to be a picture of America. It was supposed to be a picture of Stephen Miller's America, of Donald Trump's America. An open casting call for the country that Stephen Miller wishes he ran. White, overly churchy, and most of all, loyal to the guy who's in the Epstein files a whole damn lot. This event could have been a great unifier for our country, and instead it is purely political. Which brings me to the gentleman in the backwards hat sitting right next to the president at the finale, Mr. Pat McAfee. Mr. I'm not political. Mr. I'm just a sports guy. Well, Mr. Sports Guy, turnover on 4th down, my man, because Trump on your show on Veterans Day, no gain, 2nd down. The MAGA-coded $60 million glow-up that you got while your network laid off tons of actual journalists, 3rd and long. Platforming Aaron Rodgers' insanity, 4th down. And on 4th down, instead of kicking the ball, the one talent you actually have, you're now co-starring at a MAGA-branded pageant that the athletes themselves are calling out for being too Trumpian. And remember, all of this is airing on ESPN, the network that ran people off because they didn't stick to sports. And the kicker, unintentional pun there, the kicker, after all of that, after all these loyalty videos, the flown-in stand-ins, the primetime special, the stands were half empty. Just like the rest of any of this Freedom 250 crap. Just like the Great American State Fair. Because Donald Trump so desperately wants to manufacture patriotism and turn it into content. Because patriotism, real patriotism, is celebrating what makes our country great. Not complaining that everyone that disagrees with you, has different skin, or different beliefs is evil. And fortunately, it is a lot harder than we thought to fill seats with hatred. Look, America's 250th, that belongs to every kid in every gym in this country. The travel ball kids, the rec league kids, the miracle league kids, the kids just doing their best. And the kids whose names the selection committee apparently can't pronounce. But judging by this reporting, it looks like the kids are all right. And independent media like us, we survive on your interactions, your likes, your comments, your shares. So do me a favor, drop one below, and if you really want to support us, consider becoming a member so that we can bring you content like this 7 days a week.